Why this 6 foot, good looking stripper guy is on this. Sorry, I fucking nicked your speech, haven't I, Max? Sorry, mate. But yeah, for those that don't know me, my name's Kevin, Kevin Wood. I'm from sunny Bradford, Joe. I'm a builder by trade. And I'll ask me on here to share my story basically. It's like everybody in this room is unique. Everybody has their own story. And it's unique to you. And you can all get on here and tell the same version of your story as I'm going to tell now. And my past has been a little bit ropey, as Al just said. It's not always been straight. It's not always been straightforward. So like I say, I'm a 28-year-old bricklayer. I own 3 companies. Al's probably big me up a little bit. I don't see myself as a successful businessman, but you know, we're all successful in his own rights. And I'm here because I want to share my story. I'm from a broken home. That's not a sympathy vote. I'm from a broken home. My dad's an absolute fucking knob, to be honest. Shagged anything that moved. And my mum's amazing. She's a rock. She worked 3 jobs. She did everything she could to create a home for us, put a roof over his head and feed us. And she did everything she could possibly do, like I say. And for that, I thank her every day. I don't see her as often as I should. Maybe I should see her a bit more, but you know, she did everything she could do for us. And you know, it leads me on to like growing up. School, not a fan of school, not academic in the slightest. First school, second school, brilliant, loved it. Had as much fun as I could possibly have. Grammar school came, went to shit. In the first year, I got an hiding. I'm a cheeky little bastard, if you don't know. I have a mouth on me, as small men do. And I got an hiding. I got severe hiding. The following day, I went to school. I had a chain wrapped around one hand and a Stanley knife in the other, and I thought, you're not getting me again. Luckily, they didn't. But what happened is, a week later, my friends turned up at the school, and the guys that got me got a good hiding. And it set me on a path where I thought my friends at the time were my rocks, the guys that had my back, no matter what. And I had theirs, I'm not going to lie. And what happened was, this group of people were what I thought everything to me. You know, I didn't have my dad at home. We're out busy doing what he was doing. These guys were what I needed, the support, what we call a network now. You know, they did what we needed to be done at the time. But the group of people that I was surrounded by were wrong uns, let's call it. Criminals, drug dealers, not very nice people. And that's what led me into a life of, not a life of crime, but I went down the wrong path. And I went down the wrong path pretty quickly. You know, taking away from what happened, on a positive note, I always liked to work. So from 13, 14 year old, I got a job as a milkman, delivering milk. Best job I've ever had. Anybody delivered milk? Mate, you guys are missing out, honestly. Milk round is the best. You're all in business, buy a milk round. You won't make any money, but you know, it'll be fun. But I got milk round, brilliant. Best job I've ever had. You know, whether it was holding onto the back of the van when it was snowing and pretending to ski, or sitting on the back of the van in summer. I say summer, it was still 3 o'clock in the morning, but it was warm. But best job I ever had, and it got me to a point where I decided that working and getting a reward for work was something I enjoyed. You know, getting paid for something you actually enjoyed. They say if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. All right, it were only milk round earning a tenner a day, but it was something I enjoyed, and it's still with me to this day. And like I say, it got me to a point where I realised that work was actually good. I enjoy work. I enjoy earning money. I enjoy going out and, you know, doing a full day's graft, let's call it, getting a bit of fulfilment and reward for what you do. And that was my first job. It took me on to my first business 2 years later. I got a business loan from the Prince's Trust. I got £3,000 to start a company. And I started a company, a valeting company, cleaning cars. I won an award. I'm not academic, didn't do a single exam. Didn't do it, I got pissed instead with my mates. Shouldn't have done, I suppose, but I did. But I won an award for best business plan. And it were a proud moment. Maybe I should go do my exams again if that's what it feels like, but it was a proud moment, and I were awarded £3,000 to stand in front of a panel of judges, and they awarded me the money. And I started my business. I was about 16, 17 year old. I went out, bought all the valeting gear, bought a car. I should have had a license, but we'll not cover that bit. And then set about a valeting company. And like all young people do, they spent it as fast as it came in, and I spent more than came in usually. So it didn't last very long. I got a job, and it started a repeat pattern for me for a long time. Getting a job, getting bored, starting a business, getting bored, finding something else, getting bored, and I didn't know what I was going to do. While this was happening, how can I say this? I was a little bastard. Sorry if I'm offending anybody with my swearing, but it's tough shit, to be fair. I swear a lot. But yeah, I was a little shit. I was in a hell of a lot of trouble. I came close to jail twice. I was asked to pack a bag because I was going to jail. Luckily, you know, somebody was looking over me, and the judge found me favourable. Didn't send me to jail. Just give me a slap on the wrist and a couple of community service hours and things like that. But my uncle lifted me from my house. When I say lifted me, he took me to France, basically took me from the environment that we're in, and taught me a trade. He taught me to be a bricklayer. Today, I thank him every day for that, because I wouldn't be where I am now, in the business I am now, if he hadn't have done that for me. So I don't see him often enough. He still lives in France. He's got a very successful serviced accommodation in France. There's one for sale. I don't know if anybody's seen a post. I put it on. It's about 850 grand if you want to buy it. Yeah. I can vouch for it. I built it, so it's brilliant. But I don't do plumbing, so it's probably not that good, to be honest. But yeah, it taught me a trade, and it gave me a purpose at some point. I came back to England and didn't particularly use it. I went into chasing the money, chasing the dream, and I became a drug dealer. I became a guy that bought and sold stolen cars. I became a guy that bought and sold moody gear. And it's not something to glamorise at all. It's not, you know, it looks glamorous when you sat on Nicky Beach with a bottle of champagne, but it's not a fucking glamorous life, and it's not one I would ever encourage anybody to do. But it got me to you know, through the stages, and I started another business. And drug dealing and buying, selling stuff is business. It gets your business mindset. You're buying something, you're selling it for a profit. Many people I grew up with, if they turned what they were doing into a business, they'd be fucking millionaires, legitimate millionaires, very fucking profitable, very recognisable, and they'd be fucking stinking rich. Well, they are stinking rich. Unfortunately, it's not legitimate. But yeah, I were a little bastard, to say the least. And I met, fast forward a few years, I met an amazing woman. She's sinking in the chair here. This lady here, well, what can I say?
You've all seen me dancing, don't worry.
I won't say what about you dancing then. But yeah, she's a rock. You've all seen her, you know, dancing shit. But she is a cracking woman. And what she did is, unknowingly, well, not unloving, you know full well you changed my life at some point. But whilst we got married, and then we had a little boy, and when, between getting married and having a little boy, up to about 18-month-old, wasn't he, or something, I was a bastard, to say the least. I went around, and my son, like I say, up to 18 months, I was at home, but I want, present. I was fucking making as much money as I could. I was living the lifestyle. I was doing what the fuck I wanted, basically, and it wasn't very fair on Vicky. And we had a little girl. Vicky was pregnant with a little girl, and it's funny this bit because Vicky doesn't actually remember this conversation, but this conversation actually changed everything for me, and I mean everything. She basically, to summarise, she basically said, "Sort your fucking shit out, or fuck off." And it didn't take me very long, a split second, literally like that. I sorted my shit out. When I say I was involved in criminality at the time, I was majorly involved. We got raided by the armed police. We closed our factory down. We had a granite worktop factory at the time. They closed it down, shut the gates, and they literally pointed machine guns at us. It was very, very normal for us, that. It was a bragging right at the time. Something wasn't right, obviously, but it was something to brag about. And that's because of the circle and the environment we're in. Vicky said to me, "Sort your shit out or fuck off." The very next day, I went and met my business partner, and I sold everything I was involved in, everything. And I walked away from that with a little bit of cash. Years and years of doing what I was doing, it came in, it went out. And I sold up, walked away from that life. I've never done one, apart from speeding, that everybody speeds, I've never ever done any criminality at all. I've only done it once, Kim. Maybe twice. But somebody else took them points, so they don't shit. Yeah, sold up, literally sold up. Went from earning thousands and thousands of pounds to working for a friend of mine who had a building company for £80 a day. And to say it was a shock to the system was an understatement. It was a shock to the system. But it wasn't a shock that I regretted, because I had Vicky, I had my little boy, I had a little girl on the way, I had a house that needed doing up that swallowed every bit of cash that we had. And I was earning 80 quid a day, and Vicky worked her arse off to support whatever I chose to do. Fast forward a couple more years, I took a project on to build a new home. This new build house set me a precedent where I was up here. I was gone from an 80 quid a day guy to up here in terms of building level. It was a 14,500 square foot, 9-bedroom, swimming pool, fucking mansion. It was an amazing project, stressful as fuck, but it led me to build a network of tradesmen that I still use today. I formed a company in 2018 with two bricklayers that actually worked for me on this project. One of them we fucked off pretty soon because he was a fucking waste of space, and James, who's still with me to this day, and we formed HBD. Now there's only probably one person in this room who knows what HBD stands for. To anybody else? Have I told this story to anybody else? So on the side of the guy's van, who I teamed up with, the company was in their name, O'Sullivan and Brooke. Underneath, they had a motto, and it's hashtag building dreams. So we set this company up, and we sat in a pub, weren't we? And it was like, what we're going to call this company, because I had put in my fucking work under somebody else's name. And she called it, so why did you call it HBD? HBD, happy birthday. Harry, Bob and Dave, who the fuck are them? She went, no, hashtag building dreams. Ah, fucking hell yeah, hashtag building dreams. HBD started, and it's a brand I'm proud of, because we've come from, from me leaving this major project to having nothing to creating something. And it goes to show that, I've gone from £80 a day to a business. Last year, 2021, 3 businesses that were involved in turned over £1.1 million. And in a short space of time, it was a proud moment. I stood back, did the calculations. I'm fucking shit with them, but that's why Vicky works with us. And I stood back and I was very, very, very proud of what I've done. And it gave me a motivation to do more. So what I did is I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have any family that could help me. I didn't have a dad around. My uncle lived in France, and anybody that I'd ever approached wanted a piece of the pie. So if I'd gone to them with a business idea, yeah, but I want this. They didn't want to help you, they wanted a piece of your fucking pie. So I looked for a mentor, I looked for some help, and I met this guy at the back. You all know Alistair. And I joined his business academy. And part of the business academy was this event. So I came to this event earlier in the year. And this event didn't change my life. Not at all, not in one bit. What it did is it changed my perception on life. And when I say it changed my perception on life, it got me thinking of what my life actually is and why I'm doing what I'm doing and the value of what I do. And what it did, you know, the Dickens process for me changed everything. Because I got to a point where I saw the future that I didn't want if I'd have carried on doing what I did. You know, same with everybody. If you don't change, you know, the future that we have starts now, literally starts today. And you want to change something, change it. The thing that I took from Tell the World, other than the Dickens process, the perception, is the people in this room, the ones that I've met before. Some of you I haven't met, some of you I'm just meeting. But there's a group of people in this room, and they are all fucking amazing. And I cannot take that away from one person. From Plymouth to Scotland, I know that I have a network of people that if I need somewhere to stay, if I need a roof over my head, I need food, I need anything, it's a phone call, it's a message on a WhatsApp group. And every fucking single person that's in that group will do the same for you what they do for me. And I will do the same for you what they do for them. Yeah? That's the most important thing that you need to take away from this, is the fact that your network, it's not your net worth, it's the people that your environment, that's who you become, that's who you are. So if I can tell you to take one thing away from this, it's where you are today is not your future. Where you are today is not your future. Thank you, guys. My name's Kevin. It's been a pleasure to speak to you guys. I hope that's done something for you. And I'm about if you need me. Guys.